These are some LED lamps I bought from a Chinese eBay seller some time ago, and I really like them because they're very simple. They claim to be 3 watts, but in reality, although they use a 3 watt LED, the power supply actually only runs them at approximately 1.5 watts, which is good. That keeps the dissipation down. So I'll just screw it in. They're nice enough. They just put out a spot of light, not a huge amount of light, and the default colour is a sort of fairly coldish white. Not a terribly nice white in a sense, because it is that harsh cold look. So I've been doing things like changing them for a deep blue light, and this is a really deep shade of blue, and it's really attractive. I really like it a lot. But today, this morning, a new LED arrived from DealExtreme. While since I've used DealExtreme, I thought I'd give them another test because in the past their delivery times are extremely slow, but they seem to have bucked up now. So I'm going to put this LED, which claims to be purple, into this light. So here's how it comes apart. The front unscrews, and there's a little lens. The LED is just squished in by the pressure of the lens and the cover, so it can be just lifted out and desoldered. So white is negative and red is positive. Maybe I should reflow those up. There it goes. It's using that awful lead-free solder, I think, which doesn't flow too well. There we are. So I'll just put that LED out of the way and clean this gunk off it later. And I'll just retin these and flow some solder onto the LED itself. So let's see. I'll make that the negative of choice. And that the positive. And I shall retin these wires. I featured these lights in another video when I took them apart, and the aluminium front has 3 screws going into the plastic back, and there's just the standard little generic 3 wattish style power supply jammed in there. So having done that, I'm now going to solder the red wire onto that terminal, positive terminal. Quite footery, I have to say. I'll move back into the frame here. And likewise, the negative wire. Oh yes, the wires aren't very long, so it's just a little bit fumbly. Oh, that is quite fumbly, I have to say. Very fumbly. Yeah, there's a technique for this that somebody in a Chinese factory somewhere has developed, because they probably solder approximately 1,000 of these a day. That looks promising. Okay, that'll do. And then I'm going to put another little blob of heatsink compound. Oh, I'll put it on the back of the heatsink instead of the LED. Just a central blob, as I usually do. Oh, far too much, but that's okay. Better looking at it than looking for it. Then I shall try and manoeuvre that LED down onto that in a skillful manner, which is not going to happen because I don't have much in the way of subtlety. Then I'm going to rotate that to the point that the wires are actually able to pass through the matching holes. Okay, that's looking pretty nice so far. Bring that wire in a wee bit. And then I shall put this lens down onto the top of the LED. Now I've tried putting 1 watt LEDs in these. It's not a good idea. They're not really intended for 1 watt LEDs, and the spacing is such that the LED doesn't get pressed down fully onto the back, so the only LEDs you'd really put in them are the 3 watt LEDs. now I shall, whoop, balancing that in the LED, and then it's not quite central. Oh, that is very footery. I'm going to have to twist that round a wee bit to get it centred. That's better. Try again. And that is pressing that down quite tightly. And there's room to spare, so that's good. You can tell if it's going to be loose because the lens rattles in the middle. So let's plug that in and see what happens. It may go bang, it may not work. Oh, that's pink. That's very, very hot pink, I have to say. That's lurid. Oh yes, that's just absolutely dreadful. I like that. So yes, how to hack these lamps to put new LEDs in. They're very, very easy to do. I mean, yeah, it just takes a little bit of practice, I think.